Yeah.
It's interesting because if you go back to like early 90s New York hip hop, you guys kind of laid the groundwork. And then it kind of feels like, we always have like these, I would say like kind of like weird divisions in hip hop, people's styles, people's, movements. And I can only imagine. So you guys are coming up, Tribe's coming up. Obviously Public Enemy's already a thing. And then you get like Wu-Tang, Nas, Biggie later. Totally different vibe. But it's kind of crazy that y'all didn't like mesh more together then. Was it because y'all were just kind of on like obviously Wu-Tang was on some street shit like
nah, the industry was just changing, man. Things were actually changing and everybody was moving according to the change.
Because outside of that, we all hung around each other.
Right.
I mean, RZA loved Prince Paul. He loved us. He would
ended up with Gravediggers.
He would always be around us. But like as May said, when we started in 89, if Wu-Tang and Nas and them was out then, we would all been on tour together. It's just it changed.
You guys were first,
It just changed that by the time they were prevalent, the system was set up like someone who has to be exactly like Wu-Tang will be together with them. Like Rough Riders will be, I don't know, with someone who's got the same energy as them, opposed to them being with De La.
Yeah, you see Rough Riders and maybe Rockefeller or something like that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So they start marrying synonymous groups as opposed to mixing a bunch of different fruit together.
Yeah.
Where we come from. We was all mixed up. We was a mixed salad when we
Houdini on
first
the
came
tour
out.
with Run DMC, like, more stylistic with Houdini. Run DMC's rough around the edges, but they were on tour together.
Right.
But it was like if they were still together in the era we came in, they would have never been near each other. Like Houdini would have been with like Heavy D.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And we toured with LL, NWA, Too Short, Kane, Slick Rick,
DOC. We all loved
was all
each other.
under one roof.
It's so crazy.
One roof.
Yeah. What's the NWA? What's it like being like on tour NWA back then?
NWA had the best, to this day, the best live show.
They're actually
that I've ever
responsible for De La's live show.
They inspired y'all.
NWA had the best,
in a major
to this
way.
day, the best live show I've
in a
ever
major
seen.
way. Knowing how to...
Best hip-hop live show?
NWA know how to turn a dead room into a very live atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, to come in the room and people just sitting... They know how to get it going right from the top.
It would be like I would, even to this day, funny enough, I've never asked them. Like I would just want to know how or who taught them to be so on point with their live show. Because for them to be so many people, they even broke that up. DLC first, Yella and Dre.
And then they would...
Q by himself.
Right.
Didn't eat, like they gave you doses of themselves and then
the
full
group
on.
And the whole group.
It was just...
It was crazy.
They had such great showmanship.
And if they had 30 minutes, they could pull all of that off
together
in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and it was insane.
But then they had the Broadway play aspect, like prostitutes walking with props up and like manhole, like they came out of the manhole, like they had
Dre DJing on 2 garbage cans.
Yo, it was just
crazy.
It was crazy. Light pole set up. Holes on the corner.
Are y'all kicking it backstage on tour?
Bugging out.
Because I can just imagine, like, because obviously Cube did a really good job of, like, going to New York and working on America's Most Wanted. But that was, a little bit later, I'm sure. But I can just imagine how crazy it'd have been if y'all would have got
He was working on that
and brought
then.
y'all's world together.
But he was working on that then because we didn't know that they had issues and all that.
Right.
Because Cube, me and him went to the mall during that tour in '89, and he kicked me to rhyme to little boys and girls. They all know me. He went through all that. I was like, yo, that's crazy. What's that for? He said, something I'm working on. So he already had started developing rhymes at that point.
Did you guys ever flirt with like doing a session together? Like see if you guys cook some shit up?
Would have loved to. I mean, I remember.
It's a lot harder back then, by the way. Today,
because
the studio, you can pull the studio up at the hotel on the bus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No.
Yeah. It's like reel to reel days, trying to find a studio on some random city and like, I'm sure it's not as easy.
Nah.
You guys are on, one of the coolest songs ever. I think about today's world in which there's artists who are thinking about the Gorillaz, obviously. The Gorillaz are like kind of the, shots of the Gorillaz, but Feel Good Inc. was such a big song. And like, how did y'all get pitched the idea?
Just friends who knew them and us, and they just started asking, like, "Yo, would you ever want to work with the Gorillaz?" So he's like, "Oh, you mean the dude who worked with Dell?" I was like, "Yeah." And from there, I guess they let them know, and it just kind of started from that point.
Did you guys know it was going to be like a cartoon group?
We knew the cartoon group only because they had, from when they did the first album, and Dell was on that record.
Yeah.
And I actually did a DJ tour with Danny Automator.
Yeah, Dan's dope, man.
Who produced that song. So, and learning all of that.
I feel like here, you like low key, like what's kind of going on right now, where you got like writers like kind of doing the AI thing. It's kind of like in a weird way, like prophetic what the Gorillaz did.
Yeah, no, without question. And I mean, Damon, meeting him, it was just we just became like family after that. I mean, he was such a great musician, great creative mind, willing to work and try and do anything. Even when, and he reminds me a lot of Q-Tip, like even when he has the smash, he's like, all right, but let me see how it is if I do a variant cover. Let me flip it another way. Yo, Mace, try to add this, do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how he was. And it was just, we just loved that about him. So from that point on, man, we just became like family. Yeah.
During one of my favorite verses that happened during the pandemic was the Primo RZA one. And I remember that one like made me think like, could De La Soul and Tribe do like a friendly fun verses? Did they ever hit you guys up?
It floated around. I mean, it floated around, and not that we would have had an issue with it. I just didn't think it would happen. I'm being honest. I didn't think it would happen because I know like Tip don't really like
doesn't
to come
feel like
outside.
The kind of thing Tip would do at all.
Nah. Tip don't like to be outside, let alone just doing that without having the artillery of his man. Like Fife was already going. Of course,
it makes it a lot different. Yeah.
So yeah, he went and did it.
I was just thinking like, when it was like the IG live version and fools were like at the crib just playing shit. Yeah, that was my favorite Versus era when it was like super like we're stuck at home. Yeah. Everyone's got rubber gloves when we go to the grocery store. What a wild time, man.
That was a wild time.
Man, I obviously with this new album, man, Cabin in the Sky, it is, like I said, it's such a beautiful tribute to Dave.
Thank you, bro.
When you guys initially start playing these records for people who are close, what is some of the reactions you're getting? Because I can imagine they got to be emotional.
Surprise. Okay.
The reactions, I made sure I got it to the homies we grew up with. I did a Zoom call and played the record for all the homies. That definitely stuck really close to Dave, especially when he would come off the road.
Right.
So I got the opportunity to play it for them, and they cried. A lot of them were like, thank you. I'm going to tell you this too. It was like, I know the monarch is thank you, Dave, but they was like, thank you, Mace, thank you, Paz. It was like, it helped give them closure,
Yeah.
Because a lot of them was with him the night before he passed. So it threw them off, knowing like they just had a ill conversation, laughing and joking, and wake up the next day, he was gone. So it was a big void for a few of the homies, and the record gave them closure. Definitely therapeutic, It hit all the emotions of joy and pain.
Yeah.
So, it's one for the books for everybody who really loved Dave.